What's up, everyone? Live with a Pepperoni here, and today we're going to be doing a little rundown slash DIY slash how-to on Autodesk 3D CAD program Fusion. It used to be called Fusion 360. They've changed it to Fusion now, and now it's just Fusion. So what I'm going to be going through is the basics, like your basic drawing. We're going to get into a bit of sheet metal. We won't really get into any like harsh 3D stuff because even I'm not good at that. We'll just go to the sheet metal portion of it. It's actually still free for hobbyists and stuff, and I pay for it per year just as it's like a business. But if you're a hobbyist and not making money off of it or anything, they say yeah, it's completely free still. You need an alright computer to use it. There are many CAD programs available now. There's a lot of free ones. This is just what I use because I'm very comfortable with it, and I just kind of haven't gone to any other ones, but there are many out there. But these basics will be the same for almost all CAD programs. So we'll get into it. I'll kind of explain a little bit of how you just kind of have to change the way you think about modeling stuff and drawing stuff when you get into like the sheet metal and stuff. But other than that, it's pretty straightforward and it's way easier than you guys think. So follow along and we'll get into drawing. So right now with Fusion, I opened it up and we have our place, like we have where we're going. So on the right here, we have our coordinates. Here's top, right, left, front, and back. So I just always go on the top layer. It's the easiest. On the left here, you have your window of what you're gonna need to do. So here, the top right here where it says unsave, that's kind of your whole project. And from there, you can right click and create new components, new drawing, configure, and a bunch of other stuff that we won't necessarily use. But what we will use is the component in a bit here. So Fusion works a bit different than other CAD programs in that way, where you don't necessarily have a whole assembly. You just have your components, and then the whole thing as a whole is a assembly, I believe. It just works backwards and different, but it's all the same. You just have to learn the different literature around it. So, but for now, we're just going to be like, we'll be using the main thing and the new component thing, and that's it. So we'll just go from there. So right here, first thing you want to do always is just press Control S or go up to the top left here and just press save. Save right out of the box, so then you kind of have a file. So we'll name this YouTube test showing. So once we have this here, what we're gonna do is just start drawing. So let's start with the basics. You have L, which is your line. That's a straight line, and then if you hold it, I'll show you on the computer right now. So we're gonna press L, choose your plane that you're gonna be working with. Like I said, the top is here, so we're just gonna be going here. So you press L, that's your line tool. So we're gonna wanna just press it one click, and then bring it to wherever you want it to go, and then press it again, and now you have your line. If you want to dimensionalize the line, you press D. D stands for, what does D stand for? Dimension. That's why, because we're dimensionalizing it. So all you do is press D, or you can go to the top left here, just click Sketch Dimension. All of the stuff that I'm saying the hotkeys for or the shortcuts are available at the top here. It's just I used the letter because it's a lot easier. So what we're going to do is we're going to press the sketch dimension in the top left corner here, press it on the line. Right now it's 8.45748 inches long. We're just going to make that a 5-inch. So you just press 5 and enter, and there it is. If you have two measurements that you don't know how to do, or you don't want to add it up, or you want to divide it by 2, you can also put that sequence in the dimension box, which I'll show you right now. So you just double click the line you had. You don't have to be in the sketch dimension program. You could just double click the dimension itself, and now it will show up. So if you have two numbers that you don't know what they equal up to, like even in decimals. So let's just give a example. We'll go 4.129, and then you just put plus 1.675. So now you get 5.804, and we didn't need to do any external math. You just have two dimensions together, and that adds that. We can do it the opposite way too. If we want to cut this in half, all you do afterwards is you have to know your bed mass, your brackets, exponents, division, multiplication, and then your subtract and minus. So if you put these two in brackets, so now that will take that sequence, and then if you divide it by 2, you'll get your half of that, which is really cool to use in a lot of situations, especially if you're adding up a bunch of small numeric numbers. You kind of can go from there. So now we have 2.902, which is really nice to do, but we're just going to keep this at 5 for now. That doesn't matter. So with the line tool as well, press L or the top left, you'll see line. If you're on a straight line like here, if you hold the button, hold the left click of the mouse, you can actually do a tangent arc off of that to wherever you want to go. So here you go here, or you can actually do a whole 180 loop. You can even go straight. But that allows you to make a really nice arc that is tangent or in line with the lower line that you go off of. So from there, you can dimensionalize that again. You can just click that top. You can click the bottom. So right now we're at 2.5. Let's make it 3. So 3, it'll actually automatically recurve the back and give you a tangent line, tangent connection, and make the arc to 3" like you guys seen there. So that's a really cool tool. You can go around as much as you want. Like you can hear is you just need a straight line to begin with. But yeah, if you go there, you can draw whatever you want. Ooh. It's super simple, super easy, super nice. And then when you want, you'll see here, zooming in here, where, oh, it doesn't want to do it right now. So say you go straight, and then right here, you can see that little box come out where it was right there. That box, when that box comes up, that means you're perpendicular. So you're exactly 90 degrees to the previous line that you did. So let's just delete this. Hopefully that helped you guys. So that's like the line tool. So now if you want to do a rectangle box, there's 2 options. So you can press R, and it's a regular 2-sided rectangular box. So you press 1 click, and you can drag and drop your box. You can do 5 by 8, and you can just change the dimensions. That's always going to be a 2-sided square or rectangle, whatever you want. That kind of covers that. Then there's a second option of what you can do. So I kind of have these a preset, but if you press S, S is your shortcuts or sections of like, you kind of can type in what you want and what you need. So right here, I have saved a center rectangle. So what that does is from this one, it takes one side of the corner and goes like that, where this rectangle starts from the center and then you just go out. So if you see right now, see how it has that little triangle in the top? And then we go to the side, the little triangle here. So what that tells us, we're in the center of that line. So if we drag this over, see how it has the green line there? And then it matches up. So right now, given those 2 coordinates, we are exactly in the center of this rectangle. And that goes for all lines and stuff. It'll just tell you the corresponding center points. So right there, we'll press click, and now we see how it actions up. We can just drag it around. So we'll go 6 by 3.8 just for the sake of here. And now we have this center rectangle with 2 according lines that I usually just delete because they're not needed. You could either right click it and press delete right here, or you just press the delete on your keyboard. So right now we have this, so hopefully you guys followed along there. So next we'll get to circles. Circles are right here. The center diameter circle, you just press C or you press up here and you just literally place it and put exactly what you want. So let's just go a 1 inch here and a 1 inch here. So if you're drawing multiple circles and you want them to be all the same size, an easy way to go is if you just press C, you just randomly draw them everywhere. This is just for example, like roughly where you need them. Then you can go up to this tool here. It's called equal. So here's your constraints. So I'll go on about constraints at this moment. Constraints are kind of what tells your sketch the limitations and constraints of what it needs to be. So depending on what constraints you have, tells the computer / program, hey, I can be here but not here. I can do this but not that. And there's several different ones that you can use, as you guys can see here. And I'll kind of go through them. So let's just go, we'll do the equal one first and then we'll set these up. So equal here, if you press on this one here, the main one that we did, that's 1 inch, you press that to another one, there. You press, and if you just, I forgot to mention, when you equalize something, your object or sketch that you've drawn cannot have a dimension on it. So just if there's a dimension on it, you literally just press it, press delete, and it's done. So we'll go back to our equal. You press equal there, and we'll just go along to all the circles and match them up. And now whenever you change this main circle that you've done, say you want it like 0.75, all of them change. So that's a really cool thing to do. So now that we have that constraint done, you can see every double line here equals one of the holes here. So that's a really cool, easy thing to do. Let's go to the next thing. So the next constraint we will go through is a horizontal / vertical. So if you press this one and you press there, I don't know exactly how to do all these, but like if you press the center or like your circle, if you press the circle, it will automatically like go to the center. And a trick that I learned, well, I've known it for a while, but like that really helped me after I understand this, is if you put it like, you can't really put it to any of these lines here, right? But if you press shift and you hover over, see how the center line starts now? So this constraint here, the vertical horizontal, we press the center there, and now we will go here and it will be on that line. And then if you go here to this one, it will move it to this corner. See that? And what I'm going to do, I'll just do it to this one. But if it's closer to where it needs to be, it will take the point, the different, I don't know how to explain this. This hole here was already up here, so it would cater to this line and this line being a center. But if we go to this one here, to here, it will go to this side of it, like I just showed you guys. And it's already the centered here, so it would just naturally be like that. So using it kind of like, you kind of have to learn what you can get away with what side, but once it's constrained, it's good. And say you do constrain something like this, and you want it over here, but you go here, and then you want it over here. No, that didn't work. Say you did it and you don't want that. Then all you have to do is press Control Z or undo, and it just goes back a little bit to what you were actually doing and doesn't break everything. It literally just goes backspace, like as in I just return time a little bit and that's it. So that's what that constraint does. That one I use a lot. The next one is coincident. This kind of just puts like, say this point you want on here, it just adds that. Or this one, like I said, the center, if you find the center of it, you press this to the center of that, and then to this hole, it just aligns your dots together. So that's what that one does. This tangent one here puts your edge to whatever line you want. So see how it's there, it's touching, and then you can move this along wherever, and it just has the edge touching all the time. Parallel lines is one that obviously if you go from there to there, if you click this one and this one, it's over constrained, so it won't work. But say we two lines here, and that's not parallel, but we want it to be. You just press this parallel one on these two and it'll align them perfectly. Another good one is the midpoint one. So if you want something on the midpoint of a line, you just press the midpoint. Say we take the circle over here and we want it on the midpoint of this one. You just press that and it gets you there and it just locks it in there. So those are pretty much the constraints that I use all the time. I don't really use the other ones, so I can't really tell you how they work. The fix, actually, this is kind of a cheating one. This is one that I use all the time because I don't constrain enough. So what you can do is see how this one, see how this moves like this up and down. If you want to just move this left and right, but don't want to move this, just double click the rectangle, right click, and go down and press fix, unfix. So what that does is just locks that one piece into place so it can't move. Doesn't matter what you do to it, cannot move, cannot modify it or anything until you press unfix. So if you press that, see it turns a bit green. Now what you can do is just move. Oh, you should be able to. Oh, weird. Here, let's try that. Oh, at least two constraint now. Let's try a new one. We'll put this on that line. Oh, why aren't you? Weird. Huh. Sometimes that works. Sometimes you can just constrain it. Might be able to just do this single one. See how just that single line is? There we go. See how the bottom, so I just pressed fix on this bottom line, and now I can move this around and not have to worry. And see how it always stays on that line. And then once you're done, just right click it, unfix, and then that kind of just stays where it is. So that's kind of all that stuff. So what we'll do next is we will go to, we've done the circle, we've done the fine point spline. That's not really necessary for simple stuff. The mirror. So another thing that I use lots is the mirror function. So super easy. All you do is press it. You kind of just scan over what you want to mirror. Then you press mirror your line right here. You press the line that you want to mirror, and then it shows up on the other side like that. I do that with a lot of drawings. You kind of like just draw half of it, then mirror it. You have to connect the two lines where it intersects, which is kind of annoying sometimes. So let's just draw like a triangle, let's say. Like right there. So say you want this to mirror. You do the object, you want these two lines, which are two objects, select the mirror line right here, and then you press OK. So right here, see how this is white? There's a little white dot here. If you export this, and there's a white dot there, and bring into a CAD program to do all your drawing for your CNC table and stuff, this is gonna have two broken lines there, and it's gonna have a start, stop, and it's not gonna be fun. So what I try to do is when I'm mirroring something like this, you can just kind of go over it, press it with your left button, go until it's green, and that's kind of like connected there. But on the like straight lines and stuff, I'll just delete both. I'll just get my line tool, I'll go from this corner to this corner, and it's done. Like, it's just way simpler than trying to connect that little line, and then there's one more node that your computer has to read, so I just kind of like to simplify it. So once it goes blue like that in Fusion, that means that's a complete solid structure, I guess you can call it. All the lines are connected and everything. So that's good, I guess. So now that we have the square there, another tool that I regularly use is the fillet tool, or the fillet tool, I always used to say because it's funny. So what this does is this fillets your corners. I guess that's the easiest way to say it. So you kind of just put it what corner you want from this one to this one, or this one to this one, and then you just write your radius in. So remember your radius, if you guys should know, but if you don't know, it's just half your diameter. So if you want like a 2-inch diameter radius, like pretend putting a circle, a 2-inch circle like this on the corner, this is 3-inch. So you're gonna wanna do, I mean, it might be 2.5. So you can do 1 3/4 to have this diameter, which you guys will see here. So if you go 1.75, and then you'll get that, you can just modify it, go 1 inch there, and kind of go from there. I usually do a like 0.25. That's kind of like a nice one. Or no, like 0.5, like for this size, like, and there you go. It's that easy. You can do it on all different shapes, all different sizes. Here we're doing the square. You can do that. If you want them different size, you just don't connect to that one and then just press it again. So I'm just gonna press Control Z. That's gonna backspace us, and then we can make these lines whatever. Oh man. That's a 120 rather than the 1. So there's that. Another thing we can do, there's so many things in here, but I'm just trying to cover the basics. If we go right here, here's the center to center slot. I use these a lot. So you just kind of like press it, it's the top left there. It might be under create, under slot. You can do center to center. But here, I'll just go through all these ones quickly with you guys and kind of explain what they do. So here's your normal line. Your rectangle, you have a 2-point rectangle, 3-point rectangle, or your center rectangle. That's what I was showing you guys before. Circle, you could do inner diameter, tangent, outer. You guys can see all of them over here to the left. There's a lot of options. I always just use center diameter circle because that's the easiest. You don't have to guess half. Some of the programs, you do the circles with a radius. It's just a lot easier in Fusion where you just do the diameter. Oh, I want a 1.25 hole. Press 1.25, you're done. Here's the arcs I was talking about. You have your 3-point arc. Here, we'll just show you that one right now because we haven't gone through that one. So this one I use a lot. So you pretty much press one left click of your mouse. You go to your how far you want it. You press another left click. And then you just go up and down of where you want your arc. It works really nice. You can align it there. You can go here. You can do just a subtle bit. It's not too bad. So I use this one a lot because sometimes you You want like a natural curve, but you don't want a diameter of a circle. So this is a super cool thing. So there's that one. And then you go your polygons. Here your inscribed, your circumscribed, and your edge polygons. So for these ones, you just press it, you click, you pull out as far as you want it. So this one is the outer points are what you do. So say you want it 4 inches wide and you only want 5, you want to be a pentagon. If you want to go 7, 8, you can be an octagon. 9, a ninagon. You want a centagon. Whatever one it is, you can, and then obviously a 3 is a triangle, but you guys will just draw a triangle. But yeah, so that one's super cool. If you do 4, it's a square. It just kind of like senses out like what you want and stuff. And the pentagons are really cool in like brackets and stuff. It's just nice to be able to like not have a circle sometimes. So that's the pentagon one. This ellipse I don't really use. You just kind of like, it's kind of like the slot tool, but it's like an oval. You would use it sometimes. I don't use it a lot, but I'm sure some of you guys will find a place to use it. Also super simple to use. The spline, don't really need that. And then the slot I showed you guys. This pattern one is actually super cool. So if you want to do like a square, say you're a square and you want to put a bunch of circles in it, what you would do is just draw your circle or your square. Let's draw, for this sake, let's draw a pentagon. We'll go here, 2.25, and we'll make it a pentagon. So right now we have the pentagon. We can, I don't know why it's not parallel. What we'll do is go this, we'll make this parallel to here. And now we have that. So now that that's straight, what we'll do is we'll dimensionalize it from here to the center of there. We'll make it 5 inches. And from here to there, we'll make it 5 inches again. What you guys want to do, because this just screwed up, if you look at this bottom line while I press Control Z, that one, but this bottom one here, it actually moved the bottom. So this is where your constraints come in. So what you want to do is on these two here, you want to make that whatever it needs to be. So then what this does is allows this drawing here not to actually move the outer shape because it's constrained. So what we're going to do now is we'll go dimensionalize it again. Press D, the center to the edge. We'll go that 5 inches and see how that moves the shape, not the outer source. And the outer moved, but it didn't make it smaller or anything. So how you could stop that as well, if we'll press Control Z, see how that moved? What you want to do is just lock this one in place. Press fix, unfix. So now that's locked in place. So then when we put this to 5 inches, it moves that. The outer square is locked in place. That won't move. And then you can, everything else, if you had a bunch of other stuff drawn down, it would stay where it is. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go to rectangular pattern. We're going to click our polygon. You just double click it, it'll get all the lines. And then here, direction, distribution, quantity, distance, direction, and then this is for the second way. So the distribution is kind of the one thing that you want to actually pay attention to. Do you want the overall extension of what your pattern is going to be, or do you want to determine the spacing? I like to do the spacing just because it's easier. We'll go like 3-inch spacing in between. That's center to center, remember. So we'll go probably, let's go 5 just to make it easy. You press tab, you go to the next one. Let's do another 5. and then we have 5 here. I'll show you the other one. Now we'll go to extent. We know that this is 50 and that's 5. So we're going to go 45 minus another 5. So we'll go 40 inches. So if we go 40 here, we'll be even from the edge here to the edge here and going from there, if that makes sense. And then you just press this upper one. You kind of know 35 minus 5 is going to be 30, minus another 5 is going to be 25. So we're going to want this 25. Let's go 5 again. And now we have all our polygons in the flat piece that we had, and they're all even pattern and everything. I'll show you guys if you dimensionalize this line to the center of here. So you go there and then D to the edge, press shift to find the center. Oh, that's a driven constraint, yeah. But you can see that that is, oh, that's not going to be closer because, oh. That's going to be a bit less because from here to here, it's going to be a different measurement. So we're going to go from there. So now that we have this here, you can do the circular pattern as well. It's the same principle, but instead of a rectangle, it just goes around one center. So if we get this again, the center point we'll make here. You could just, we'll make a circle around there, and it's just easy to make objects in a circular pattern, so we're not going to worry about that. Another thing that's nice to use, which is very useful when making dies and stuff, is this offset tool. So what we'll do here is we'll just draw a line here to there. Go there. So say here's a die that you make. Super simple. You want this nice radius on some sort of hammer. What you would do is you would take the offset tool. You would just take the top line here. So you just want to press that line. You press Control. Control will allow you to like grab other lines. So you get those till they're blue. That means those are selected. You press the offset tool. You go up the thickness in material that you want it to finally be. So let's say we're doing 16 gauge with which is 6.065. So you just type in 0.065 minus. And right there is the thickness of 16 gauge. We probably want to go like, give it like just a bit more, because when you're hitting it, it's going to expand a little bit. So we'll go minus 0.080. So we'll give that 14 gauge. That'll give it some room to expand and stuff. And then what you would do is just take this line here, continue on. And now, one of the main tools you're going to use all the time, and I didn't give it to you guys yet because we need it now, is the trim tool. So you just press T or this up here, the trim tool. You press that, and all it does is delete the lines that you're showing. You can see here, this one's connected here. So if we press on this line, it's going to delete only this one, but it's going to split it on this line, and vice versa. If we were to press this line, it would split it there. So we're just going to do this outside line there. And now this side over here. And now we kind of have this thing right here that would make that profile that you need, and go from there. So I think that kind of covers all of the tools that we need in order to draw most things in Fusion. I might go quickly right here and just show you guys how to sheet metal stuff, and then I want to import a drawing or a picture and just draw over it to show you guys. We'll do the Roadster shock mounts and how I did it. So right now, this piece right here, say we want this piece out of sheet metal, you just press E, which is extrude. So this is what you can make your files into big or small. You just press it. The thickness, say we want this 1/4 inch, you go 0.25, and that's it. You can even put 1/4 in as 1/4, and that would be good as well. So here, you press Shift and the middle button here on your mouse, and then you can kind of like turn it a bit. Next thing, you want to go up to the top left here. You see sheet metal. These are all your sheet metal tools. So what it does is it converts the actual flat piece of metal into a theoretical piece of sheet metal, which will allow you to move it around like you would a piece of sheet metal in basic form. You're not going to be able to do big bulges and stuff, but just very basic bending you'll be able to do. So convert it to sheet metal. You do that. You press this. The thickness is 1/4 inch. Okay. So what that does is tells Fusion that this piece is now a piece of steel. And you can change the accordance to make it aluminum, titanium, whatever steel you want, and it'll act differently when you bend it. So then we'll go right here. There's the bend tool, and then there's the flange tool. A bend tool is when you already have a drawn up piece of plate like this, and say we drew a line in it, like say we want the bend right here. If we drew a line right there, there's a line there. So now if we went bend, you would click the whole thing, and then the piece you want bent, you press that side, and that will bend it 90. So you can do that to 2 corners. The thing that sucks about using that tool is you can only do kind of one bend on the flat surface. So on a square like this, you can bend the 2 to 4 sides, but after that, all your drawing kind of retains non-existent, so you don't have anything to work off. So say you draw this huge thing with 6 bends in it, you can only do the first bend off the main piece, and then go from there. So it's kind of sucks in that way, if that makes sense. So we're just going to cancel this. We're going to Control Z that. And what we're going to do is go back to sheet metal over here. We're going to press the flange tool. And the flange tool just allows you to take a bend off of wherever you want and make it as far as you want. And it cuts out the corner and stuff automatically for you, and that's how you have a box. From there, it gets very complicated after this. It can get. If you want, say you want something on this side of the box or this side of the box, all you do is you take your normal sketch tools and tooling. So like say you want 2 holes on the side of this piece here, you just press C. Instead of drawing on the plane, you just draw on that piece of the side of the box or the circle or whatever, and then you draw a couple circles, and then how to make them in your workpiece, you just press E for the extrusion like we did previously. You click the 3 holes, and instead of making it thicker, you actually use those holes as a cutting device, and you just go backwards, and then you cut the holes out of it. So that makes that pretty easy. And we can go fully in depth on sheet metal tooling and everything, but I just wanted to show you guys with those simple things, you guys can do a lot with that. So we're just gonna go backwards a bit. And delete all this. And now the last thing I want to bring in is I want to bring in a photo and just draw over it and just kind of show you guys how easy it is to take something that you've drawn in real life, to take a picture of it with your phone, upload it to your phone, email it to yourself or whatever, and bring it into Fusion and draw it. So we're gonna go to Canvas up here. You're gonna put it on Insert from My Computer. We're gonna go to Pictures, or Downloads, I think. Or Downloads, and we will go, where's that bracket? Let's go this one right here. On the top, and OK. So the big question is going to be, oh, this is just like a piece of, we'll just do this. This is easier. So what we'll do is, see how I have the tape measure there? You're always going to want to take a picture of your tape measure with your object that you're taking a picture of, because it will allow you to do what we're doing at this moment, which is calibrate your picture to the actual computer. So you're going to want to go to here to Canvases, go Calibrate. I usually like to have this like this. You're going to want to take, ooh, why is this working like this? Sorry, guys. I usually take 2 points, so I'll go from like the 2-inch to the 14-inch. Let's go 15-inch, because the longer you do, the better. And then we know that distance in between there is 13 inches. So you just press 13. Let it load. We'll back up. And now this object here that we've done is actually calibrated now, so we can just work off of it like we would normally do. So this last portion here, it just stopped screen recording, so I'm gonna have to do it again. So now that we have this calibrated and kind of set up to where we want it, we're just gonna draw it up quickly and to dimensions that it theoretically should be. These, if you have specific dimensions, you can obviously plug them in, but on a plate like this is for a construction site, the lines will probably be on a full number, or like a 3/4, half, or 3/8. Like, so what we'll do is we'll draw them to the actual holes on the actual sheet, and then we'll just spread them out accordingly to what 99% of the chance it would be, unless given specialized orders. So what we're gonna do here is we're just gonna press R as a rectangle. We're gonna come up on this corner here. We're just gonna drag it on by. It's gonna be 24.5 by 6. You can see here how the lines are a bit off. So the piece that I actually drew, it's like it was overall a 6, but when they cut on the line. So the actual like kerf width of the plasma or whatever they had it cut from took up that space. And then when you draw a Sharpie on here, you know there's going to be a space and stuff in between it. So I talked to the dude and he said it was like 6 inches what it is. So that's what we're going to do. So here, what we're going to do is we're just going to do our circles. So we're going to put like random circles. We'll go here. We have our circles now, and now what we're going to do is we're going to dimensionalize this single one. We're going to be 0.75 because it says 3/4 hole there. And what we're going to do is go to our equal up here in our tool section. We're just going to equal all of them together. So now as long as one is equal to another, they're all going to be equal. So now they're all 3/4 of an inch, and we're going to start laying out a center line on the actual piece. And then we're gonna kind of go where these are. So what I usually do is for a 4-piece like this, I'm gonna just press R. I'm gonna go from this one and kind of go, okay, we know these are 2.5 apart, and these are gonna be 4.25 distance. So now that we have that drawn up, what we're gonna do is just take our centers of our circles and just drag it to the corner. Once it goes green, you know it's locked in. So here, lock it in, lock it in. Now we know that's perfect. So what we're gonna do is, we know this outside portion is here to stay. So we're gonna double click, we're gonna press the fix. Now that is gonna stay, and everything that we constraint is gonna move around the actual piece of steel or the rectangle that we have. So we're just gonna do this center line to here. We're gonna press D, go from here to here. We're gonna make that 0.75 because it's 0.79, you kind of see. So we want it 3/4 of an inch from the edge, and then we're gonna go to the horizontal and vertical tool. We're gonna see how the center isn't showing, but once you press shift, see that center line. So we're gonna go from there, and then on this outside here, we're gonna go there. So see how that moved? Now this here is aligned with each other. I'm trying to move my hands to show you on the screen, but I have to use my mouse. So then we'll go from this hole here, this one, we'll do the same thing. We'll constraint it to the center of there. This one will go to there. And that's about there. So now we know all these are center. We just have to find our distances away from the edge. So we'll go from the edge to there. We're gonna call that 8 inches just because it's gonna be around there. We're gonna wanna draw a line between these two right there. Then we're gonna wanna, we know that, see that constraint there? That tells us we're parallel with here, so we don't have to know if these are on an angle or anything. Then from here, we're gonna press D. We're gonna go from this to this line. We're gonna say 11.75 because it's 11.73. This hole here to the edge is gonna be 7.25, I wanna say. Maybe 7. 7's probably better. And then these two, we're gonna draw another line. And we're gonna go from here to here. And that's where I'm gonna be, oh, damn it, 2.375. So that'll be 3/8 from the edge. So what we're gonna wanna do, this line here, we're gonna wanna press X. That turns into a construction line. And what a construction line does is it allows the piece, when you extrude it, like we'll do in a couple seconds here to convert it to sheet metal, it won't disrupt any of the other things, and it will just draw, it'll just take out the pieces of, what's it called, that are the blue line. One thing I forgot to do is we have to take this one, we'll go to center here, and to here. I don't think this one, there. It didn't look centered, so there we go. So now that we got this all pretty much done, I'm pretty sure this one's centered. Oh, it wasn't, so there we go. Now that this is all done, we'll take that, and then that. Oh, that's just dimension, so that doesn't matter. We'll go finish sketch up here. There, that's a construction line. We're gonna press E. We're gonna extrude this to 0.25 and go like that. So there's our piece. Now, if you guys have been watching till the end here, this is kind of a way to get a round fusion with not having to pay for it. So like pay for DXF files. So DXF files are part of the paid program, as far as my knowledge goes, where if you pay for it, you can just normally export them. Like if you go here, here, export, you guys won't have a DXF file. But if you go over to the left to the sketches, you right click it, you're able to export it actually as a DXF. You're able to do all the points and everything and go from there. So that's a real good trick. Not a lot of people know. So if you have Fusion as a hobbyist and you don't have to pay, that kind of makes it worthwhile, you know? The other way to export, if you do pay for it, now that this is like that, we'll have to convert it to sheet metal, go like that, and then you go create flat pattern, take the flat pattern, you go like that, and now that's there. And then you just would export it normally. Another good thing about doing the flat pattern way, but I don't think you guys will be able to if you guys are on the free one, or maybe not export it. I'm not totally sure though. I haven't had the free one in years. You go do your flanges. If you make 2 flanges on this, let's just say we need like a corner flange. You go here and here. You want to go 1/2 inch, 1 inch. Let's go 5 inches. A 5-inch flange there. What you'll do is when you go create flat pattern, you just press the side that you want it to flatten out to stay stationary. You go update, yes, that's fine. And now what it will do, it will include all your bend lines that you need necessarily for the CNC benders and stuff, knowing that, hey, these are my parameters, I have to bend it there. What it will also tell you is when stuff doesn't work. So you literally couldn't do this bend on this side because it's going to interrupt that hole. So what you could do is go here, edit, delete edge 2. No. Delete edge 1. Delete edge 1, delete. And now we'll have to do it on this side to know that we're able to. If you just press the top of your piece, it'll just go up to that far. But this is like, I wouldn't call this basic anymore. So flat pattern, now that clearance is there, and okay, cool, this will work on this side. One more thing, if Infusion is nice, so say you want to put a bunch of holes on the side of this piece, all you would do is instead of choosing a plane, like so say do C, instead of choosing the plane of the floor, you just choose that actual panel that you're working on. We'll just draw a bunch of circles just for proof of concept. There. Now once you have your circles drawn, you press E, you click on them, and now remember before how we made the pieces thicker, you just literally go the opposite way, and now whatever drawing you made, it's now a cutting device, and now you put those shapes into whatever piece you're doing. So yeah, that is Fusion in a 50-minute nutshell. I hope you guys learned a lot. I hope this kind of showed you guys that it's really not that hard. It's pretty simple. I'll just show you guys quickly the front shock mounts in the Roadster. Here's what they look like on the computer when I was designing them. Like if you guys seen in the video, I fixed this one so that it doesn't hit everything, because it did. That's why I had to cut it in the video. If you guys want to check out the Roadster shock video, you guys will see that what I did. And yeah, so here is what that looked like. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys learned a lot. If you guys want to support me and stuff, you can go to my website, www.lifewithapepperoni.com. I'll post it right here. I have DXF files for sale, stickers and stuff, but with this video, you guys can draw everything that I've drawn and put up, minus the actual dimensions and stuff of real life stuff. So if you guys like this video, please hit like, hit subscribe. If you guys want more other things in Fusion, just let me know and I'm be gladly down to go on with it and stuff. So thank you guys for watching and hope you enjoy and learn something new. Thank you.